Hey everybody, my name is Alyssa. I am so excited to be here and showing you all a glitter eyeshadow look. So we have four different types of eyeshadows. We kind of have our mattes, which are nice and flat like these, actually all of these that I have here. We have shimmers, which have a little bit of glitter to them. We have cream shadows, and then we have these fun, gorgeous glitter colors. So they are kind of like a pressed glitter. And I'm gonna be showing you a really pretty look today using one of those glitters. This one is called Graceland. So now you can see I've obviously already done my makeup. When we are using the pressed glitters, there are a few extra kind of steps that you want to take to make sure that, you don't make a huge mess, because we all know how glitter can be. And just making sure you kind of have some extra things in place to help your glitter stay on and last all day. So one of those things is this glitter glue right here. It's NYX brand, and it's a glitter primer. I actually got this on Amazon. It was like $3. So super inexpensive, and probably will last me a really long time because it's a pretty big tube. So I am definitely going to be using this. And then something else you might want to do is putting down a loose powder, or any powder at all, but I think a loose powder will work better under your eyes. So this is the Coty Airspun, and I love this loose powder for the days when I really want my makeup to stay in place. So down here in Georgia, or even in North Carolina, when it would get super hot, I would always set my makeup with this powder, and I would just kind of tap some into the lid. And then this is the powder brush. And so I'm just going to put kind of a lot of this powder under my eyes. And so it's translucent. This is gonna look really wonky here for a while, but when I get finished with my eyeshadow look, what I can do is I can dust this off, and if I get any fallout from the glitter, it'll just dust it right away. Okay, so I'm just placing that down first. This will also actually set your under eyes really well. So I'm just putting that down, and see, I went up pretty high because if I get any fallout over here, I can just dust it off. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave that be and go ahead and get started on my eyeshadow look. So I'm gonna be using mostly the Eyeshadow Everything brush, and I'm gonna start, and I'm gonna use Mama and Valencia kind of as like my base colors. So I'm gonna go into Mama first. Mama is a really, really pretty color. It's a nice kind of soft pink neutral, and I'm just gonna put that kind of all over. You can't go wrong with this color, so feel free to just kind of put it all over. You see how pretty it is, even standalone? So I'm just putting that down as kind of a base shade. And I have already, I should have said before I started, when I did my makeup, I put my brightening highlight color that I put, in this big triangle of light. I did put my cream brightener on top of my eyelids, because I want my eyelids to be the same color kind of as the skin around here, because otherwise it'll kind of throw off the shade of your eyeshadows. Okay, so got that all over. Next, I'm gonna go into Valencia. So Valencia is this gorgeous, warm, kind of muted orange, and I'm just gonna kind of build that in the crease and a little bit up towards my brow. And this is just adding some warmth. I love Mama and Valencia together. So I'm pretty much I'm not doing anything all that different than what I would do for a typical eyeshadow look. And then I'm just gonna add the glitter for a fun pop at the very end. Okay. Sweet. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna do is grab this color. This is Hija. This was actually one of the very first Seint branded eyeshadows, or not Seint branded, but one of my first Seint products that I got way back when the name was mascara. I've had it for a really long time, and it looks a little scary in the tin, but it is so pretty. And I did switch to the small side of the brush, and I'm gonna just start working that into the crease, and I'm actually gonna go up a little bit higher than the crease too. And I just kind of tap it I love the small end of this brush for really precise placement. So if you're working with a color and you're uncertain or it makes you a little nervous, try using the small end of your eyeshadow brush, because you can just kind of place it exactly where you want it to go, and then you can blend it out with the fluffy side. So I'm just kind of placing this around. It doesn't have to be super neat or anything. I'm just trying to make sure I have them looking similar-ish, because it's not an exact science. Then I'll just kind of soften that up with the fluffy end of the brush. Okay, look how pretty that is. So you guys, you could do this same look and stop at any point. You could have just done Mama. You could have done Mama and Valencia. You could do Mama, Valencia, and me, Hija. Or you can just keep amping it up a little bit. So this is Coco. It's also kind of a warm chocolatey brown, and I'm gonna use the same small end, just picking up a little bit, and I'm gonna just put it in the outer kind of corner. So this is just giving me a little extra kind of depth to the look. Kind of the same way we contour our faces. We start with our dark contour out here and pull it in. That's what we're doing with our eyes. And then I just kind of work it in a little bit. So you can see the difference between this one and this one by adding just that little touch of that darker color. It just kind of gives more depth. And do you guys notice how my skin is kind of soaking in that powder? This is actually called baking. So it's that's a fancy makeup term that I didn't know anything about before I started using this and learned it from other fabulous artists. But it's just kind of like letting that powder really sit on your skin, and it's gonna give you incredible staying power. Or like I said, it's gonna help if I have any issues with fallout. Although honestly, I tend to not have many issues with that with these shadows because they're so high quality, but better safe than sorry. And so I'm just being really gentle, you guys, and just kind of patting that Coco in place. So I try and do pretty small movements when I'm doing my eyeshadow. You don't want to do any like, you know, giant fluffing around, just because it can get a little dicey. Okay, so we're pretty good. We're pretty even so far. All right, now for the fun part. Oh, you can also take either of these two colors. You just saw me kind of go into both. And I'm just gonna run a little bit of that kind of right on the outer 2/3 of my lash line. So that just gives it a little bit of a smokier look without having to use an eyeliner like that, okay? But we're still keeping the insides very bright. Alrighty, now for the fun part. Here comes the glitter. So, like I said, I've got my glitter glue primer, and I'm just going to squirt a little bit of this onto, I should probably read the directions. We'll just go for it. I'm gonna squirt a little bit onto my finger. Okay. Just a tiny bit. I'm even gonna pat some onto my other finger. Now I'm gonna focus the glitter on the center of my lid and towards the inner corner of my eye. So I'm just gonna tap that on, and I'm gonna give it just a second to kind of let it get tacky. Okay, now we're ready. All right, so I'm gonna use my multitasker brush, and I'm just gonna go into the glitter. We'll see how it goes, y'all. I'm gonna just start patting. Oh yeah, patting that glitter on. OMG, how fun is that? Loving that. Let me put, now I want to put a little more. I'm going to put a little more even closer to the center of my eye. And then just scoop up some more of Graceland. Just giving it just a second just to kind of get tacky. And then just gonna pat that right towards the inner corner. Okay, loving that. How fun is this glitter, you guys? So fun. Gosh, we have a problem. Now I'm gonna wanna put glitter on everything. Especially for the holidays. Okay, so this is something I think that's important to keep kind of when you're thinking about this. So when my eye is shut, it looks like a ton of glitter. But when my eye is open, it's not so intense. So I did already have a little bit of mascara on, but I wanna go ahead and put some more. Well, let me do the other eye first. Okay, so same thing. I'm just gonna squirt the tiniest bit of this glue on my finger. Just put a little bit, and I'm actually gonna kind of touch them together. And then go ahead and put this right on the center of my lid, taking it towards the inner corner. Okay, and I'm just gonna let it dry for just a second. Back to my multitasker. That's probably, I think it feels pretty good. Okay, and I'm just kind of scooping some of it up. And then I'm just gonna pat it right there. So super easy. I was a little intimidated by the glitter, but this is not hard. The paddle end of this brush makes it really precise. You could probably do it with your finger too. I would just use a different finger than the one, sorry, I'm shaking my camera. I would use probably a different finger than the one that you use to touch the glue. Obviously that might get a little squirrely. All right, loving that. I think that is super fun. So let me just freshen up my mascara here really quick. So you guys, these glitters are perfect for holiday events, if we can have any of those, or if your holiday event is hanging out at your house with your fam, you know what? Throw on some glitter anyway. Sparkle it up. We have, I think there are 4 or 5 of these pressed glitters. Graceland, there's a one that is pink. There's one that's kind of a gingery color. I think we have a silver, and we might have one that's even more gold than this one. Like I said, this one is called Graceland, and I think it is gorge. All right. There we have it. So just to kind of finish up, you can take any of your fluffy brushes. This is the blend brush, and I'm just gonna kind of dust. You guys, I didn't have any fallout from that. It was all very kind of controlled. But if you're nervous, go ahead and use a loose powder like that first, and then you won't have to worry about anything. You can just dust it away. So that, like I said, this is the blend brush. You could use the blush and bronzer, and there we go. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you have any questions. And again, here were my colors: Mama, Valencia, Mi Hija, Coco, and Graceland. Have a good one, ladies.